be taking a look at Twixl Publisher 5. This will be part one of a three-part series where we take a look at the Twixl Publisher utilities in some detail. Today we're going to be going over images and how they work within an app. We will look at the button interactions, hyperlinks. We will discuss video, audio, and we will even do a little bit of work with multi-state objects. So please stay tuned and we will jump right into InDesign. Let's get started. Today we will be taking a look at the Twixl Publisher 5 plugin for Adobe InDesign. So to begin with, I've prepared a document. Now let's open it up. It has no interactions in it currently, so it's a bare document. This is the first page. And it is called Rocky's Emporium of Amazing Things. Prepared a very simple two destinations here for the table of contents. A page featuring my Tomy robots. And a page detailing one particular design. So that's what we will be looking at today. Let's start here on this page that focuses on the single page of Tomy robots here. I have 9 individual images. Now let's pull up from our extensions panel. We are going to pull up the Twixl Publisher extension. Now as you can see, if I have nothing selected, it allows me to do a few things. It allows me to create a new article, properties for an article here, preview an article, share, export. But when you select a particular item, you'll notice that the menu is contextual, so it will give you the options available based on what you have selected. And currently, there's not a whole lot that can be done. We can click full screen image. And what this will allow you to do is, as you click it, it'll give you a full screen image. So one thing to bear in mind is that this gets more expensive in terms of how large it makes your app. Each app will grow in size based on how many of these images you'd make full screen. If we were to preview this article, so now we're going to use the Twixl Publisher plugin for another thing. We'll click Preview. And we will click Article, and now what it's doing is it's going to give me a menu of all the possible places that I could preview this. You can preview it via the device itself, or you can use the iOS simulator. For purposes of displaying it here for demonstration, I will just use the top one here, the iPad here, iOS simulator, and then I'll click OK. And what it's doing is it's compiling all the pages and giving us a preview of what the app would look like, at least this particular article of the app. The first thing I've noticed is these fancy borders have not applied to the final build here now. I'm not quite sure what's happened here. In the past, I've never had any issues before, so I don't know if Luke and his team need to take a look at this or what's happening. But in any case, this is the app. As you can see, currently, when you do a single article, for some reason, the default behavior is up and down scrolling. If you do a publication, you can, more than one article, you can enable left to right swiping, which in a book is the default behavior most people will want to see. But please ignore that also for the moment. As you can see, nothing works because I haven't applied anything to it yet. So right now it's just these pages have had the full page attribute to apply to each of these images. So I should be able to double click each image, and yes, there it is. It comes into full screen. All right, close that. Do add to this. Look at that. Double click on that. Close that. Double click on that. Close that. So this gives you one level of interaction immediately. Allow full screen image. That's all you need to do. Then let's start working on some hyperlinks. Let's make this a little more interactive. So to create a hyperlink using the Twixl Publisher is very simple. All we have to do is click on the link here, and then we right mouse click on here, and we will select hyperlinks, new hyperlink, and we want to, you can have a hyperlink to a URL, you can have a hyperlink to an email, and you can have a hyperlink to a page. Let's select the page we want. I happen to know that Tomy Robots is on page 3, and I happen to know that Omnibot is on page 4. So then we will click here, hyperlinks, new hyperlink, and we will navigate that one to page 4. So now I've created 2 buttons. Another kind of hyperlink here, and then I will click hyperlinks, add new hyperlink, and this time I'm going to use a URL. And I will link it to my website. There we go. Just to make things a little more interesting, I'm going to steal this image here. And I'm going to place it over here. Maybe about like that. I'll center it. And instead of saying more, I will make this button say TOC. That's table of contents. Let's call that that. And here, I will put that there. Okay, great. So I'm going to create another hyperlink. Right, mouse click, hyperlink, new hyperlink, and we will make a page hyperlink, and we will go to page 2, which is where the table of contents is. Hyperlink, new hyperlink, page 2. Okay, let's preview this version of the article. We scroll down to the table of contents. We can click on Tomy Robots, and it'll take us to Tomy Robots. We can click table of contents. It'll bring us back. We can look at the Omnibot article. We can go back, and we can also load a website. So this is my website through the app, which I think is pretty darn cool. Next, let's add a movie to this page here. As you can see, I have a placeholder for a movie down at the bottom of this Omnibot page. So I'll go File, Place, and I will choose MP4, and I will choose Omnibot Commercial. That should be in this spot here. So if I take and pull up the EPUB interactivity, I can do a quick preview.
Imagination comes Omnibot, the fully programmable robot with a memory. Omnibot.
This is now inserted into this spot here. So if I click on that, it will give me, the Twixl Publisher plugin will give me some options whether or not I'd like to play it as a loop. Do I want a movie controller? Do I want it to play on page load? Do I want it to play full screen? And those sort of things. And it also asks for a return to poster after frame playback. So if we go multimedia, it allows us to load a poster. So we can choose from a frame. Let's choose a frame. How about that frame? Then we will choose from current frame. There we go. That's the poster. We will return to that image after the playback is done too. So let's take a quick peek. I will preview this article again. And if we take and scroll to the table of contents, I'll click on the Omnibot article, and now we can trigger the video.
Just beyond your imagination comes
right from the app.
Omnibot, the fully programmable robot with a memory. Omnibot.
And when you get to the end of the video, it goes back to the original icon. Now what about this more? I haven't worked on this yet. That'll be the next spot. This is where we will take and create a multi-state object and combine it with audio clip as well. Let's take a look at some more complex interactions and see what we can really do to make this shine. I will show you my pasteboard here, and you can see that I have a pop-up item here about the Tomy robot, and I want this to appear when we click more. How we're going to achieve that is by creating some object states, and we will also make this a clickable play button, audio version of this as well. Let me begin by starting there. I will click on this. Next, I will go to Media, and I will choose this little button here. It says place video or audio file. I will pick from my MP3 folder a little Omnibot MP3 audio, place it on top. We will use this as a button. This is one way to create a button using audio. This I am going to make into a button as well. Clicking on that, and that turns this into a button. And we will call this button close. Next, we will group these things, and then we will center the object. Next, I have to create a null item. And this is just a blank object. I should put it off to a side. It doesn't really need to interact with the object other than I need to create a multi-state object, and one of the states needs to be nothing showing. We go to the multi-state object from here, so the object states, and create a new multi-state object. You will now see I've got two states. So I will call this object named pop up, and I will click this bit of text and I will make it into a button as well. I'll create an action. We want to go to state. Go to state, pop up, state 2. Click into here. I can make a new button go like this. Go to state, pop up, state 1. So now when I click this, that will clear the pop-up. Let's do a quick preview. Once the build is complete, we can take a look at the compiled app. And if we pull up the table of contents, we can go to the Omnibot page, and we can see the video is working, table of contents is working, and now if I click more, it gives me a written description of the Tomy robot, the Omnibot, and if I click here, the Omnibot is a toy robot originally manufactured by Tomy in the mid-1980s. And when you're done, you can just close it up and then it goes away. And basically that's it. That is our introduction, part 1 of a 3-part series discussing interactions using InDesign and Twixl Publisher 5. I hope you enjoyed it and stay tuned for the next one. Thank you very much.